Morning, Ryan.
Hi, Chris.
Um, did you guys actually have to shut down completely, or did you provide any service during this epidemic?
Going back 8 weeks now, I think it is, give or take. Feels like longer. When I think Boris did his speech on the Monday night, which going on memory was like the 23rd of March, I think the whole industry, I mean, that evening, if I remember right, if I go back to it, that evening I must have had 20 phone calls, one after the other, from competitors, from suppliers, from employees, from board members, just saying, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And I quickly expected the whole industry to go into a bit of a domino effect. And I think by 5 p.m. the next day, most major fabricators, certainly the ones I speak to, had closed, and we were the same. It's quite easy, not enjoyable, but easy to close down or shut down. Not so easy to try and get the wheels rolling again and restart, which is what we've been doing now for the last, in our case, for the last 6 or 7 weeks, actually. We're fortunate in terms of Emplas. We've got a big factory. It's relatively new. It's as automated as it can be. So by and large, other than certain pockets, it is socially distanced naturally. Some of our machining centres are 6 to 10 metres long. We've got one bloke at one end, one bloke at the other. So it does naturally space people out. But then there's other pockets where naturally they come closer together in certain other activities. So, you know, we've spent an inordinate amount of time repositioning a lot of the shop floor, marking the shop floor. We've got hand sanitizer stations in every area. We've took doors off hinges on corridors that aren't fire doors, so people aren't having to touch doors unless it's absolutely necessary. But, you know, it's changing old habits. It's simple little things like leave your door open. So in the morning, we've got a cleaner who comes around and disinfects all the handles, and then he will prop all the doors open. And at the end of the day, when they do another clean at the end of the day, the fire doors that have to be closed, he closes. So it's lots of little habits that we've had to change. And again, with the shop floor in certain areas where it is congested, we've just had to change how they operate. And they're doing it in teams, fixed teams, so they're only coming into contact with one person. And if they do have to come within 2 meters, then they're wearing relevant PPE. So we've produced safe systems of work for each and every area. And if anything, actually, it's been quite a good process because we've had to sharpen up generally. You know, we've got safe systems of work in place for dispatch and loading and our drivers, and the place has never looked so clean.
How close are you then to being back to full strength?
I think we've been open since the 20th was when we first reopened. So we're talking, I don't know, I think we're 7 weeks into refabricating. We only re-delivered into the UK week commencing the 11th. I'm just looking at my calendar now. So that was our first UK deliveries. But I can say that this week, last week, this week and next week, we're delivering over 50% of our normal volume. The difficulty is some of that is stuff that was in the system. Some of it is stuff that our customers had sold but not yet ordered. And some is new business. And we're trying to separate that out to try and understand what new business will look like going forward. That is the key. Because working that out will tell us what the short-term future is going to look like. As we still eat into this order bank that we're filtering in each and every week alongside these new orders. By having our own retail business, T&K, which I'm very close to, and we didn't stop selling for T&K, but we didn't stop that process. We've actually reported really good sales through May. We've had to change totally. We are getting really good levels of inquiries. People at home, they're sat at home, they're looking at their windows, they're thinking I need some more living space. So the inquiry level's been great. My only worry is when reality hits, so furlough ends, potential redundancies, potential mass unemployment, potential recession, which is more than likely we're already in. When that reality hits, when we start to come out the other side of COVID, consumer confidence will be hit. There's no question about it. So it's trying to pick the bones out of all of that and then manage your resource, because I don't want to be bringing people back just for a little boom and then having to re-furlough or worst case make redundancies down the line. So we're looking at that and talking to our customers about that every day. I was on the conversation this morning. The way things are going, we're hopefully going to drive to a point that by the end of June, we will be back to our normal lead times, fixed delivery days, across our full range, which will give our customers an even better opportunity to go out and win business and give their customers confidence in what they're doing. So it's all steps. And I'll go back to my point. It's very easy just to shut down and close the door. It's very difficult to try and restart it. And I think if anyone thinks they can just open up next week and think it's all going to be normal, is deluded. And we've been going through that pain and working through it for the last 7 weeks, and we're in a good position because of it.
I mean, you must have wondered from a financial point of view when Emplas will see itself back to where it was prior to December 2019.
Yeah.
How long do you think that's going to take?
The challenge to the salespeople is, and our operational team, is to make sure we can win the new business. So, you know, by sort of the autumn, we're in a similar position to as we were. What I will say though is I think we'll be leaner and fitter because of it. I think it makes you look at things that you never looked at before. So I think if we get our finger out, and we've been doing that, stick to a good service and a good product, we'll win new business. And by the autumn, you know, we might not be in a bad position because I think we'll be leaner and fitter because of it. And there'll be the opportunities to win new business. So you know, I'm a lot more positive now than I was 6 or 7 weeks ago.
The one thing that I feel is that there isn't a trade association. I come from businesses where we had those and you had sort of one person leading it. Is there a way out of this? I mean, can we end up with a proper trade association out of all this?
I'd like to think so. I mean, I think I'd agree with you throughout this, with not one of our bodies who claims to represent us has stood up and said, right, this is what we think should happen. And we were quite vocal early on to say, look, this isn't going away. There are guidelines. We have to learn and adapt to continue to operate, else we'll all go out of business. Government has kind of stood on the back foot and left industry, you know, you've got to make the decisions, you've got to take the steps, you've got to get on with it. And there's no one within our industry who said, right, let's grab the baton, and this is what we think we should do. Sometimes it's better to make a decision than no decision. And we've seen not a lot of decisions or people standing up, you know, prepared to be counted. So it's a tricky one. Perhaps you could do it, Chris.
And on that happy note, let's bring this to a close.